So one of the things that sort of stuck out to me out of all of the topics that you guys did focus in on or key in on in your paper was the role of aging, which I think has obviously been a very big conversation within the space. So what is just your thoughts on the role of aging? Is this an area that we fully understand? And also, are there aspects that we're still trying to learn about within aging and how it affects MS specifically?
So the short answer is no, we don't fully understand the role of aging in MS. I think we recognize that there are a lot of changes that happen with the brain and the immune system and other aspects of our function as we age. And like other diseases with a neurodegenerative component, age does play a role, we think, in the expression of MS, and we know it influences things like the nervous system's ability to repair, remyelinate, and so on. But we don't fully understand what the interface is between aging and MS, nor how it may influence the balance of what the driving mechanisms are in individuals, how it influences clinical expression, or how it should influence what we do in terms of our clinical care. So I think that's another key area that deserves a lot more exploration, particularly since we recognize that the MS population is on average aging, right? So the group with the highest prevalence of MS is now individuals over age 55. And so that means that this is a growing group that if we're going to provide optimal care we need to really get a better handle on what's the best way to manage MS at older ages.
I know that this paper is sort of just a framework and it's very, very early on, but how do you envision MS disease management or care for that matter improving, if we were to sort of go away from the stereotypical phases and more focus in on the pathophysiological mechanisms that you guys are sort of honing in on here?
Well, I think our long-term goal is, reference again that sort of oncology model is you have clear, if we had all the therapies in the world and we knew what mechanisms they targeted, and I knew what mechanisms were in play for a particular individual, we could choose those therapeutics to target the biology of that individual with the goal that we would get to the best possible outcomes. Until we get there, I think understanding more about the mechanism still will allow us to make better choices. So an individual with secondary progressive MS, people don't all look the same, right? So some people may still be having relapses and lots of new gadolinium-enhancing lesions on MRI. And so some individuals may benefit more than others with some of the therapeutics that are emerging. I think it also, given that we're on the trials committee, we really want to get to a place where we're also selecting the right people when we're testing new therapeutics and have ways of figuring out who is most going to benefit from a particular agent when we do our clinical trials, because that's really what's going to put us in a position to improve outcomes. And so ideally, instead of picking a therapy and hoping it works and sort of evaluating how it works and then having to switch to something else when it doesn't, we would have a much better idea what was going to work for a particular individual in advance. So we would be able to pick based on more information and, be confident that we've got the right agent from the beginning, not to lose time.